Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Pure Jungle.
A warm welcome to Prime TV's main news. To present it, my name is Gwen Wheeler. We now take a look at some of the stories that are making headlines. Those leaving Grand Coalition are late Michael Sarte's enemies, says Grand Coalition. Dr. John Perry directs councils to stop political hooliganism in markets. President Edgar Lungu warns party members undermining his presidency. And in international news, airstrike kills dozens in Nigeria border village. These plus many more stories. Do stay tuned. Now the news in detail. The Grand Coalition has charged that those that have pulled out of a Grand Coalition were only fighting the late President Michael Sata and not for the cause of the people. Grand Coalition spokesperson McDonald Chipenzi says that those that have pulled out do not understand the importance of the Constitution. Mr. Chipenzi adds that it is surprising that when President Michael Sata was alive, political parties and individuals were in the forefront of putting pressure on Sata to release the Constitution. He has clarified that more than 200 civil society organizations are in the coalition to demand for the people-driven Constitution, and 13 genuine political parties are still involved. Mr. Chipenzi has further advised political parties that have pulled out not to tag the coalition of supporting a certain party where there are over 200 organizations and 13 political parties within.
In any case, it's political parties that are supporting the civil society's cause of a people-driven constitution, and not vice versa. Okay? And this is why we have seen that those who are supporting us for a people-driven constitution, some of them, because they feel it's no longer necessary to support us, they have withdrawn. Those who still feel that this is a noble cause, they have continued to support us. All political parties may even leave us, but civil society, the church, and other interest groups will not stop demanding for a people-driven constitution as long as it has not been given to us.
Meanwhile, National Restoration Party, NAREP, has accused the UPND of being behind the Grand Coalition and its cause. NAREP Secretary General Javan Kamanga says NAREP feels all civil society organizations and political parties are being used by Hakainde Hichilema. Mr. Kamanga says the action by NAREP did not follow the recent move by Father Frank Bwalia to leave the Grand Coalition. He has accused UPND President Hakainde Hichilema of having an agenda with the Grand Coalition and using it to win elections in 2016. Mr. Kamanga says the party might agree with President Edgar Lungu on amending the Constitution through Parliament. Meanwhile, Mr. Kamanga has advised the public to take a close look at Article 27 on the new draft Constitution as it is promoting homosexuality in the country.
Article 27 is becoming a thorn in the flesh of many people, and especially the church, because Article 27 is talking about discrimination. The first draft and the current constitution have produced something that will give parameters so that this discrimination is not extended to the people that practice homosexuality and lesbianism. And so through the processes, district convention, provincial convention, sector group, national convention, everyone agreed that we cannot allow this issue of discrimination to accommodate the lesbians and homosexuals. So at the national convention, we agreed that even the term that this cannot be extended to homosexuals and lesbians, okay? We agreed that it would be that. And the technical committee, after they did all the investigation, they recommended that what was appearing in the first draft be upheld.
A former PF official has condemned the culture of violence which the party has adopted. Mr. Patrick Piri, who served as District Commissioner for Chilanga and Kolomo under President Michael Sata's government, has expressed disappointment at the rate at which the current PF is tolerating violence. Mr. Piri, who is now Rainbow Party Lusaka Province Information and Publicity Secretary, says it is worrying that the top leadership within the ruling PF has failed to control the vice. Mr. Piri said this in an interview with Prime TV News in Lusaka.
PF is full of thugs. They've taken over the markets, they're controlling everything. When you talk to them, they're saying bomb and bomb. And is that bomb a beaten innocent woman who has taken her tomatoes and goods to sell at Soweto, and you start brutalizing her? And the thugs that did that are well-known people. And the police up to now are dragging their feet. I don't know what they're waiting for to arrest them. So we order the police. We're very interested in this case. We're waiting for the police to move in to arrest those people, because those people are known. It's already been said that PF is full of thugs. We've been there before. The people that have now made this PF are only people that believe in violence. But as we thought, no, we don't want violence, we've moved over to a Rainbow Party.
Meanwhile, Dr. Piri has called on the Lusaka City Council to stop political hooliganism exhibited in all public places. Dr. Piri says it is sad that public places have become a center for political violence when elections are over. He asks that those that have lost elections must live with the loss and allow winners to continue ruling. Dr. Piri indicates that it will not do for any political party to continue beating up people in public places. The remarks by Dr. Piri follows recent incidents in which a trader at Soweto Market was beaten by PF cadres. The beating of a woman and her 2 children has aroused public anger.
Violence, beatings will not attract help from outside. My appeal, not necessarily to the utility companies, but to the councils that you work with. All councils must clean their backyard. All councils must restore order in all their institutions. This lawlessness must stop. There are structures in place to maintain.
President Edgar Lungu has warned party members who are undermining his presidency that he does not mind losing power in 2016 and has dared to meet his opponents within the party head-on in next year's general elections. Speaking at a swearing-in ceremony at State House, President Lungu says he is aware that some members within the party are undermining his presidency following the appointments he has made so far. The head of state has warned that those who want to dare him should do so openly. He has vowed to continue appointing individuals to serve in his government on merit, whether they are inclined or come from other political parties. Meanwhile, the president says he will not abuse his office or interfere with court cases. In an indirect reaction to petitions written to him to constitute a tribunal to probe Director of Public Prosecutions Mtembo Nchito, President Lungu said his hands are tied because the matter is already in the courts of law. We now take our first break, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Those leaving Grand Coalition are led President Michael Sarte's enemies, says Grand Coalition. Dr. John Piri directs councils to stop political hooliganism in markets. Do join me after the break.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Government has reaffirmed its commitment to working with the water utility companies and other corporate partners in ensuring that proper sanitation is equally distributed. Minister of Local Government and Housing, Dr. John Phiri, says water supply is at the heart of government's national development agenda. He says with the pilot projects that have been embarked on by water companies, it is government's desire to see that the money spent on projects is well spent and benefits the less privileged. He said this when he officiated at the launch of the Copper Belt Water Operation Partnership third annual seminar.
One of the major challenges has been inadequate investment in infrastructure development over the years. It is a fact that inadequate investment in the sector in the past is responsible for the current challenges of dilapidated and inadequate water supply and sanitation infrastructure against the ever-growing population as well as industrial and economic activities. To address this challenge, this government has stepped up efforts towards mobilizing resources for water supply and sanitation infrastructure development. The positive results of these efforts are evident. All the three water utilities under the Water Operators Partnership have financial support from both the government of the Republic of Zambia and the cooperating partners.
And NWASCO Executive Director Kelvin Chitumbo says the focus of the project is to develop the capacity of water provision to low-income consumers. He says with corporate partners supporting utility companies, it will help to critically look at water challenges and document water programs in different provinces.
Complements NWASCO's efforts as a regulator to attain our vision of safe, affordable, and sustainable water supply and sanitation services for all. In realizing our vision, one of NWASCO's objectives in the current strategic plan is to ensure that water and storage companies are commercially oriented by managing the business of water with a focus on customers to get value for their money, being prudent with resources and exploiting business opportunities in unserved areas for increased access to affordable water supply and sanitation services.
The Zambian currency has continued to tumble against other major currency convertibles. A check by Prime TV Business Desk revealed that the kwacha has continued with its free fall from Wednesday's 7.122 to Thursday's 7.1000. On Wednesday, an economist attributed the downward trend of the kwacha to uncertainties in the mining sector. Mambo Hamaundu said mining companies are holding on to their money following unproductive mining policies imposed on mines by government. Mr. Hamaundu further advised Zambians to brace themselves for tougher times ahead of them should the kwacha continue to depreciate. The Zambian Voice says it is worried that government has continued making political statements on the constitution-making process instead of progressing by putting up an inclusive term to oversee the process. Zambian Voice Executive Director Chilufya Tayali has observed that the PF government is implicating itself and attracting unnecessary confrontation and criticisms by suggesting ways under which the new constitution should be enacted. He says the constitution-making process is not a baby of the government, but that of the Zambian people, with government only playing the role of a facilitator to ensure that the process is well handled. Mr. Tayali has since implored government to quickly appoint an inclusive and reasonable team of citizens' representatives to start looking at the way forward on the constitution-making process. This is according to a statement made available to Prime TV News by Mr. Tayali. We now take our second break, but still to come is international news. Do join me after this break.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
We continue with the rest of the news. At least 36 people were killed at a funeral ceremony when an unidentified plane bombarded a village on the Niger-Nigeria border, officials said. Villages on both sides of the border are called Abadam, and there was initially some confusion over which side of the border was hit. Officials later on Wednesday said the attack happened in Niger. The government decreed 3 days of national mourning. A Nigerian military spokesman, however, denied involvement. Air Commodore Del Alonge told the AFP news agency, "It's not to my knowledge and there has not been any report from our people of such an incident." An elected local leader in nearby Boso said a similar airstrike several days ago on the nearby village of Gamgara killed one person. Libya has asked the UN Security Council to lift an arms embargo so that it can deal with the Islamic State group and other militants. Foreign Minister Muhammad Al-Dairi said that it would help the government build its army and deal with rampant terrorism. Egypt said it supported Libya's request at an emergency session of the UN Council on Wednesday. Rival militias have been battling for control in Libya since 2011. The worsening security situation has increased fears that the country's warring militias may side with IS militants. Mr. Dairi said Libya needed a decisive stance from the international community to be able to tackle the threat. Libya has been under an arms embargo since the 2011 uprising that drove out the former leader, Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. For more news, we monitored Al Jazeera.
Thailand's former prime minister has been charged with negligence over a rice subsidy scheme. The Thai Supreme Court will decide next month whether Yingluck Shinawatra will stand trial. She denies wrongdoing, but she does face up to 10 years in prison if convicted. A U.S. military appeals court has overturned a conviction against an Australian who spent 5 years in Guantanamo Bay. David Hicks pleaded guilty to providing material support to terrorism in 2007, but he later said it was part of a deal to get out of the U.S. military prison. Hicks alleges that he was tortured in Guantanamo Bay. The U.S. President Barack Obama says that his country is not at war with Islam, but with those who have distorted the religion. He's been speaking at a 3-day summit on extremism in the White House.
We are not at war with Islam. We are at war with people who have perverted Islam.
Well, the UN emergency session on Libya comes days after Egypt carried out airstrikes in response to the beheadings of 21 Egyptian Christians. And now it's alleged that those strikes killed civilians as well.
I asked one of the pilots who carried out the airstrike, I asked him, was there any mistake? The pilot told me, not at all. We didn't hit any civilian targets. We were aware of these targets for months. We had strong intelligence. We are 100% certain of what we were targeting.
Well, that's all we had for you on our main news desk. But before we go, we leave you with the headlines. Those leaving Grand Coalition are let Microstata's enemies, says Grand Coalition. Dr. John Perry directs councils to stop political hooliganism in markets. President Edgar Lungu warns party members undermining his presidency. And in international news, airstrike kills dozens in Niger-Nigeria border village. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Gwen Mwila, and God bless.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.